WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Monday at 4 o'clock. So it must be time for the Community Bell Show. Good afternoon, everybody. I am so glad to have you with us. It's on this beautiful, sunny October day. Can you believe how warm it is outside and how wonderful the weather is? You know, it's not going to last long, but while it's here, let's enjoy it. Well, we've got a few things to talk about today. A few things that you should really, really know and consider telling others about because we got some stuff that's going on, everybody. First of all, we're going to be joined by the chairwoman of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, Alicia Bell. She's going to talk about redistricting. And as we wait for her to come on, there's some other stuff that we just need to talk about because it's important to talk about. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff every week from now on. Remember when I talked about the census every week for 2 years? Well, now the chickens are coming home to roost because the census is what directs the redistricting of every congressional seat in the nation. But what we're concerned about is how it impacts those of us in southeastern Michigan and the Detroit area. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we do that, subject, vaccines. Today, I got my booster. You can walk into CVS, Walgreens, several churches. You can go to Second Ebenezer. You can go to churches all over the area and get those booster vaccines and get your children's shots also. Please do that. We want you to be alive this time next year. So please go in and get those vaccines. It really is so, so important. People are talking about vaccines like this is something new. It isn't new. We got vaccines for polio when there was a polio epidemic. And children got vaccines so they would not get polio. There was the smallpox. There was mumps. There are measles. Children get vaccinated for all of those things and have been doing it for decades. So now that we have a COVID vaccine for children and for adults, there's nothing different. The same reason you got the measles and the mumps vaccine is the reason you get the COVID vaccine, to protect you and your loved ones. So I got my booster today, but in addition to that, I got the booster in one arm and I got my flu shot in the other arm. So I've got double arm vaccines today. But I want everybody to understand how important it is. Detroit's numbers are still too low for us to have seen the number of people who died from COVID last year. The numbers are too low. We don't want to have people continue to die from something that can be prevented. So I say to you, please, 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 please get those vaccines. And think about this. It isn't just you. It's your grandma, it's your auntie, it's your uncle, but it's your children that are being impacted by this. And that leads right into the next subject I want to talk about, that's schools. Last week, as you know, was count day. And all the schools in the area were supposed to get a count of the number of children who were in their school systems that dictates the amount of money each school district gets. We have some schools who had 50 some odd percent of the kids there. Some of them had 60 some percent. Some of them had 70 some percent. That is just not acceptable. How do you have a school that has half the kids there? How are those babies going to learn anything? How are we going to keep them out of the school to jail system? How are we going to keep them out of jail if they can't read, write, and compute? That's where they learn to do that, in school. That's where they learn how to take care of themselves. That's where they learn how to socialize, how to be around other people. How do you act when you're around other people? And we have schools that had only 50 some odd percent of the kids in class. We've got to work on that. That's just not acceptable. As a community, as a society, we can't let that be acceptable. We just can't let it be acceptable. So we're going to talk about that more and more and more, about what we can do to help parents help their children. Because if you're talking about K through 5, those babies can't get to school by themselves. So that is the parent responsibility, to get them to school. Not only to get them there, but to get them there on time. Don't show up at 9 and 10 o'clock because the kid has already missed 2 or 3 hours of school by that time. So the parent responsibility is to get those babies there on time. And if you have some issues, let us know what those issues are, and we'll do everything we possibly can to help you. And I'm very serious about that. We will do everything we can. I'm working with an organization now whose sole job is helping people get their kids to school. And it's real simple. It's called Helping Kids Go to School. Helping kids go to school. That's all this group does. All they want to do is to help these babies be successful, to help the parents be successful. And I know the parents want to do this. We just have to help them do this. So we have to figure out a way to help these parents do this. So that's my vaccine in my school story. For those parents who need a job, Delta Airlines is hiring. Delta Airlines is hiring. So if you're looking for a job, go out to the Sheraton near the airport. Delta Airlines is hiring on the spot. So go out there. They're hiring lots of people today until 3 and tomorrow from 11 till 3. So go out to the Sheraton Hotel at the airport, bring your ID, bring all your information so you can get a job because they're hiring right on the spot. Now, what did I say we were going to talk about? Redistricting. Well, Commissioner Bell, are you there someplace? Have you chimed in? Okay, we can let Commissioner Bell in.
Only the host can see me. The host can add me to the broadcast.
Okay.
If not, I can just talk from here.
Where is my favorite person, WVTC owner, the wonderful Sandy Rose? There she is. She needs to turn her camera on. There she is.
Yeah, just
Got the
tell the
camera on, Madam
commissioner
Bell.
to.
She doesn't want to be seen.
Oh, tell Madam Commissioner
She
to
just wants
bring her
she,
lovely
she just
self
wants to
on.
talk. She doesn't want to be seen.
Can you hear me now?
No, we
She has
can't
to
hear
turn her
you.
camera on.
Yeah, turn the camera on and have it face a beautiful picture. How's that?
It's starting.
Turn it on and then have it face one of your gorgeous pictures. There we go.
All right.
Not the water bottle.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
there
there
she
you go.
is.
Okay.
You're there.
Hello,
Okay,
how are you?
Madam Commissioner, thank you for joining us. Commissioner Bell, Wayne County Chair Alicia Bell, Chair of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners and immediate past president of the National Association of Black County Officials, which represents every Black county official, whether it be a sheriff or a clerk or a treasurer or a county commissioner, or as they call them in New Orleans, police jurors. Um, they call them judges in Texas. They call them all sorts of different things across the country, but they're all county officials. And Miss Bell was the chair of all the county officials from around the country, about 5,000 or 6,000 of them. So, Commissioner Bell, talk to us a little bit about redistricting and tell us some information that people need to know.
Sure. Well, I think you started off talking about the census and how the census has consequences, just like voting has consequences.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
census came about, and unfortunately, we're going to lose. Michigan is going to lose a congressional seat, and that is totally unacceptable, but the numbers are what they are, and that decision has already been made. But a few years ago, as many people might remember, we voted as a state to do a different way on how we draw our lines, for Congress, how we draw them for our state house seats, for our state senate seats. And that redistricting committee has been meeting for the last 18 months or so, and they've hired a consultant to draw the lines for all of those different elected offices. And today, and I believe tomorrow, may be the last day that people can chime in to the Zoom and make their comments about the maps. If you go to the MICRC in your Google, and I'll say that again, if you Google MICRC, that will take you to the state redistricting website. And on that website, you can look at the maps that they're taking into consideration, and you can also make a public comment. So I would encourage everyone to go to that website, make a public comment about the maps after you look at them. And what you'll notice that, let's say for our state Senate seats, what they're doing and what they've done is that they've put only 30% of Detroiters in each state Senate seat. So let's say you're over here on the west side like I am, and our state senator is Sylvia Santana, and she has a good sized portion of Detroit. She has all of Dearborn and a little bit, I believe it's Melvindale, or all of Melvindale. What will happen with the way the uh, lines are drawn going forward is the part of Detroit that she has will be cut in half. Then she'll have majority out county, as they called, for the rest of her district. And that's going to happen for every single Detroit Senate seat, whether your senator is Marshall Bullock or Adam Hollier or Sylvia Santana. Their Detroit portion, as the lines are drawn right now, will be half, less than half, 30% to be exact, of their seat. And then the other portion of their seat will be another city. Even some will have three different counties. They can go into Macomb County, Oakland County, and then a piece of Wayne County being the 30% of Detroit. So the way the lines are drawn right now, based upon the consultant who's working with the redistricting committee, are really not acceptable to Detroiters. It's very possible that we could have 0 black state reps, 0 black state senators, and 0 black Congress people in the state of Michigan. So, in the Detroit area in particular. So, we have to really give our comments and go to that website, MICRC, and you can either speak your public comment or you can actually write your public comment, and they'll read those and they'll take all of that into consideration. Because, as I stated, the way it is right now, we could lose all of our black state senators and state representatives if these maps go forward as they are right now.
Commissioner, now the three state senators that we have, Santana, Bullock, and Ollier. How are you
And
talking
Mary
about
and Betty Jean Alexander as well.
and Betty Jean Alexander? So, where would, let's say we were looking at Ollier, where would his district? I mean, how would they do that? Because he's like in the middle of the city.
Adam Hollier, so they would take out half
So
of
they're
his
going to
city portion, give him the points in Harper Woods, which he already has, and then even go up into St. Clair County or up to Macomb County and give him some of that. So the way it's designed right now, only 30% of each state senator district would be Detroit, and the rest of it would be another city, even in another county. It could be Farmington Hills, Detroit, Redford. It could be Southfield, Ferndale, Oak Park, and a little piece of Detroit. It could be a little piece of Detroit, then Harper Woods, all the Grosse Points, and Warren. But the thing of it is now, majority of those Senate seats that we have right now, they're at least 50% Detroit, and that's going to be cut to 30%.
So they really are literally trying to cut out every black elected official in the state house.
Yes. So
Wow.
that's why we have to go to the website. Tomorrow they're doing public comments. They were doing them today as well. And the public really has to get engaged, especially Detroiters, because this affects us directly. How will we feel if you live over here on the west side of Detroit and the person that represents you in the Senate is from, I don't know, Dearborn Heights? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Who's going to represent you in Detroit and your Detroit interests? What if you're an East Sider and your representative is from Grosse Pointe? What if you're a West Sider or your representative is from Farmington Hills? Oh, we could possibly have no representation of someone in the city of Detroit, which would be tragedy.
The largest city in the state would have no representation in the state house or senate.
Yes,
That
that's
is
what
really
we're in danger of happening.
Now,
So
Commissioner,
every
you may not know the answer to this, but who are these consultants that are recommending this?
well,
Because you got to
the
consider
redist
where this information is coming from. Who's trying to do this?
the redistricting committee, I assume they had an RFP process, and then they chose a consultant based on the RFP. And I don't know the name of the company, but they're obviously not from Detroit, and they're not following the rules on, because there are some rules that you have to abide by when you're drawing district lines. They have to be of similar interests. They have to be compact. They have to be compatible, and but based on the Voting Rights Act and the way these districts are designed right now, they are violating the Voting Rights Act. And I'm sure if they go forward as is, there will be a lawsuit on the day that they're approved because they violate the Voting Rights Act as far as compact and similar communities, or communities of interest, as it's called in the act.
Hold on to that thought. We're going to come back from a break and talk some more about that, Commissioner Bell. As
Okay.
soon as we come back from this break, I want you to talk about communities of interest. And sometimes people don't understand what that means, so I want you to talk about that a little bit more when we come back.
Okay.
There is not one concern that the Lord will not share. There's not one heavy burden that God cannot bear. He'll take your hurts and your groans and make them his own. Come one day you will overcome. Lift up your head, dry your eyes, know that you're not alone. Lift up your head, be encouraged, your deliverance soon will come. It's closer than you think. You're just at the brink of victory. You will overcome. Well, I've been through the storm, through the rain. The Lord has never left me. He remains the same. He's opened up doors that I could not see. The Lord has been a blessing. He has kept my in His word. He has given us direction. You will overcome. You will no matter what you're going through, God will deliver you. Yes, you
Hello there. We're back. We're back. We're back to talk more about this subject that you don't hear a lot talking about on the news media. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but oh my goodness, this is going to impact us directly. You are going to see some significant changes in representation for the city of Detroit if this map goes forward. And so we need to make sure that you comment. And you saw the site you can go to, MICRE. It's a state redistricting location. And read it, look at that map, make your comments, and know that what you're saying does have some impact. I know sometimes we don't think that the comments do, but they do have some impact. And so we're just going to have to push it. We're going to have to make sure that people are listening to us. And again, as we said, that if they follow through with this current map, there will be lots of lawsuits because what you can't do is reduce the community of interest of a particular area. Commissioner Bell, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Talk about that community of interest piece, please.
Sure. So when you're doing redistricting, you have to have communities of interest, and I'm pulling up the legal definition now, but primarily it's people who live in organized in the community. Um, they have things in interest such as a school district. They want to make sure that the goals and interests of those people are being met, and obviously the interest of, let's say, Detroiters are different than the interests of those persons who may live in Farmington Hills. So
Or
you have
Grove
to make
Point.
so when you are drawing your lines, you have to make sure that the people of interest have a say, and that they're drawn into those new lines that you draw. They have to be similar and compact. That's kind of one of the definitions of them. Examples of other things are income, language, educational level, uh, past election results, party registration. Those are some things that make them up of communities of interest. And let me just also repeat the website. You said it incorrectly. Is MIC as in cat, R as in red, C as in cat. So
Okay.
MICRC.
MICRC,
Yes.
not E. Okay,
Yep.
I said it wrong.
Yep.
I think it's right on the screen. It's MICRC.
And if you Google that, it'll take you straight to the Michigan Redistricting Commission's website. And there's a lot of information. They have a video, that kind of talks about what redistricting is, what they've been charged to do. What they have, I think, 4 maps right now that they're looking at. I know the Democratic Party, the Michigan Democratic Party, is weighing in as well. But in the 14th congressional district and the 13th congressional district, leadership and members are also weighing in, because we just really, to reduce the Detroit population in those districts from 50 to 30% would just be detrimental to any Black leadership that we've had over the last 50 years. So we just want to make sure that they understand that that's unacceptable, and that, and again, if they do go through with that, there'll be an immediate lawsuit filed, I believe, by the National NAACP, as well as part of the Democratic Party. So it's not as easy as we thought redoing these districts. I thought it was going to be a lot simpler, but it's turned out to be something that no one ever thought it would be, and it's a detriment to the residents of the city of Detroit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think that what people miss sometimes is that who you hire as a consultant is as important as whatever the outcome you want it to be. And so I don't know who the consultants are, but based on this map that they are presenting, it says to me that they are not sensitive to major urban areas, major urban centers, and communities of interest.
Right, and
Uh,
it could be the same up in the Flint area as well. Um, I think they even have a one line for the congressional seat, Congressman Kildee. I think they have him going from Genesee County all the way down into Oakland and parts of Wayne County.
Oh, you've got to be kidding! From Flint down to Wayne County. See how
Mm-hmm.
incredible that is.
Yeah, so
And
it's not a good thing right now. And I know that the maps have to be done. I think it's within the next 45 60 days at the latest. I want to say 45 days
really,
that the vote will be in, and it'll be completed.
and let me ask this: who says yay or nay? The redistricting committee is the final say on that map.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they're taking public comment, and people are calling in to speak live on Zoom, and people are putting in their comments. I'm gonna send my comments tonight. Write them in, because you can write them in or you can speak them. So I'm gonna send my written statement in, so they'll know that they need to really look again at these proposed maps and how they affect Detroit.
So WVTC family, I know a lot of you are out there listening, and for those in the different churches and community organizations, please go online and send in your comments, and please tell everybody that you know to send in comments. This is going to be really quite an incredible thing if this passes the way it is right now. We will not have anybody that looks like me or you representing Detroit. That could definitely be a possibility if this map goes through as it is right now. That just is totally unacceptable. We thought it was bad when we were possibly going to have the Republican Party drawing the map. Look at this. I'm not sure which is worse, or this is at least as bad.
Yeah.
Because they would not have any concern about what goes on in urban areas either. And so this map is saying kind of like the same thing. We need to really, really get everybody we know to go to that site, log in, and give your comments and share what you believe is the flaw in this plan. Because clearly there's a flaw.
Right.
Anything that's going to reduce the impact of the largest city in the state and have possibly that city have no representation from that city in the state, it's got to be flawed. It's absolutely flawed, and so that is just not acceptable. We really do have to do something about that. Commissioner Bell, let me switch subjects for a quick moment and talk about Wayne County. Tell us what's going on in Wayne County.
Well, we just voted on our budget for the 21-22 fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts October 1st. So we just voted on that unanimously. It has some of the highlights is the fact that we're raising all salaries. Believe it or not, unfortunately, some people were making less than $15 an hour. So with this new budget, everyone will make at least $15 an hour. We have some increases.
Oh, that's good news. That's
Yeah,
real
it's
good
very
news.
good news.
And
Yes.
and Wayne County is hiring also. You want to talk about that?
Yes. We are hiring every position just about is available. so, so unfortunately, we do have a hiring crisis in Wayne County. But we have positions open in just about every area you can think of, from the sheriff's office to the county clerk's office to the prosecutor, in our health department, just about every department, elected office you can think of. We are hiring. So please go to waynecounty.com, go over to our employment page. There are so many jobs available. And like I said, we've increased some salaries to be more competitive. So we're just looking for great people to come on and be a part of our Wayne County family.
And just quickly, I know this is something people don't even think about. And that's our clerk's office, because our clerk's office is way understaffed also. She needs lots of people. But if you're planning to get married, don't wait till the last minute to try and get your license. Your marriage license comes from the Wayne County Clerk's office.
Absolutely, yes. And like I said, we are very much understaffed in a lot of our areas, but you can't go call on Monday and you get married on Saturday and expect to have a marriage license. It's going to take a couple of weeks because Wayne County is the largest county in Michigan. I think people forget that. We have 1.7 million people in Wayne County. And because of that, we provide so many more services than Oakland or Washington or Macomb County does. So we need you to be patient with us. We'll certainly get to you, but it's going to take a little longer. One, because we have so many people inquiring and requesting birth certificates, death certificates, marriage license, concealed weapon licenses. It just takes so much longer because we have so many people requesting those items. And then on top of us being understaffed as well. So please get those requests in. If you know, as soon as you know your wedding date, go ahead and apply for that marriage license. So we will have no problem getting to you and making sure that your wedding goes off
Is,
without a hitch.
is there an expiration date on the marriage license? Like if I get a license today, does it expire at some point in time?
I'm sure it does. Unfortunately, that's not my specific area of expertise. But I'm sure it has a date on it where which you have to reapply. I'm not sure if that's 45 days or 60 days, or 90 days. But that's a good question to ask the clerk. Maybe it'd be wonderful to have her on the show to talk about her office and all the different things that
Oh,
she
that would be
does.
great. I think. Thank you. I think we'll just absolutely do that, because the clerk's office does so many things that people don't even know
Hmm.
she's responsible for. But that marriage license one just kind of stuck with me, because people don't even think about, oh, I'll just run down here and get my marriage license. I'm getting married next week. No, 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 no. That's not how it goes. In this day and age, you need to get that marriage license application in early, so that you know that when that day does come, you've got your license in hand. And it does not happen in a couple of days. So you're right. I think I would love to have the county clerk on to talk about all the things that she does, because a lot of people just don't know what a critical piece the county clerk plays in how Wayne County functions. It's just real important. So I think we will do that. We'll have the county clerk on it, and the other person we'll have on is the register of deeds, because people also don't know what goes on in the register of deeds office and
Right.
how
No.
important that is to your physical safety as it relates to your home. Because people are going around um, doing quick claim deeds on somebody's house, and the person doesn't even know it. They lose their house, and there's all sorts of strange things going on. We will have to do that. We will definitely have to do that. When we spoke with the sheriff uh, last month, because it's the fourth Monday is Sheriff's Monday, so he comes on and brings people with him. And he talked about the jail, and we'll talk about that later on another show. But do you know where the progress is on the new jail that's going up?
Yes, we are on target to open the end of next year, 2022. So by the end of next year, we should have that facility up and running. And of course, as you know, that's where the courthouses will be. So all the services that you get at Frank Murphy Hall of Justice will move over to that site. The jail for the adults and the juvenile detention area will be at that site as well. It'll be the criminal justice complex with the courts, the prosecutors, and the jails and the sheriff administration office. So everything is on time, and we hope to cut the ribbon, if you will, by the end of next year. So that's going to be so wonderful to have a new facility, especially for the safety of our deputies, the safety of our inmates that we're in charge to take care of. So I think it's going to be a wonderful facility, and I can't wait for it to open. We had a tour. We saw the courtrooms. The courtrooms are great. I think everybody's going to be extremely pleased with that complex, and it'll be right there, right off of I-75 in Warren, only about a mile and a half from where the current Frank Murphy is. So we're on time and on schedule.
Wonderful. Last thing, it's almost time for us to go talk about what's happening to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice, because people are going to drive down Gratiot and wonder what's that they're looking at. So what's going to happen to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice?
Oh, yes. So we've been working with a group of artists who are designing and in the process of painting a beautiful mural on the Gratiot side of that building. It's about zero hunger and bringing awareness to childhood hunger. They've done murals across the country in Oakland, California, and Houston, Texas. They have a few slated to go in Washington, D.C. and Atlanta. So we're so happy that Detroit was also chosen for this mural, funded by the Kellogg Foundation. And you'll drive by every day. You'll see a little bit more each and every day. They're going to be done this Friday. And we're having a press conference on Saturday at 3 o'clock to talk more about the awareness campaign that this mural is going to bring. And we'll talk about the artists and the artist community who are doing this all across the country, and the Kellogg Foundation, of course. So, so 3 o'clock on Saturday, we're going to do the official unveiling of the mural, and it's beautiful from what I've seen so far.
And the mural is dedicated to hunger, did you say?
Children. It brings awareness to childhood hunger, and it's called the Zero Hunger Campaign, so that no child is hungry.
Okay. And that kind of fits in with what's going on with the child tax credit and with what the governor has done in terms of additional money for families with children, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Providing more dollars for families to buy, fresh fruit and vegetables so that they can, again, decrease the childhood poverty in our country and childhood hunger in our country, and specifically in Detroit and then in Michigan. Well, this ties all into that. So,
the childhood tax credit is how much per child? $300 or something?
Currently?
Yes.
Currently, I believe people are getting about $300 on their EBT cards.
And that's per child, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, $300 additional on your EBT card per child per month. Don't go out there and sell those cards to people. You better buy some food for your babies. There's no reason where any babies should be hungry. Additional money is being provided to take care of those babies. So please do that. Please do that. Okay, that's my last soapbox for the day. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Bell. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate all that information you shared with us. We'll have you back again, and you can work with us to get the county clerk on here so she can talk about what goes on in the clerk's office. We'll have you back again as we get closer to redistricting. And I think we're going to have former State Representative Harvey Santana on, who is kind of the expert as it relates to redistricting. He's agreed to be on next Monday to talk about redistricting, because this is serious business. Serious business. And so until next week, thank you, Commissioner Bell, for being on. Thank you to all of our listeners for being with us on this Monday on the Community Bell Show. And we will see you again next Monday, 4 o'clock. Don't miss it, because if you do, you're going to miss some wonderful information. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website is www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit.